Good evening, everyone. This is Robert Jamieson. Welcome to our first online chess lesson for term 2. We only have a small group today from the look of it, as I think a lot of kids are still on holidays, but hopefully I've got something interesting to show you today. All right, let's start off maybe with talking to Callum. You there, Callum? Yeah. Can you get close to the microphone?
Yes.
Okie dokie. All right, now you had a pretty good go at our little puzzle today.
Mhm.
What do you reckon would be a good move for black?
Knight A3.
Knight A3. Now, why do you like knight A3?
Because because it distracts this pawn. It distracts the B2 pawn, and if the B2 pawn takes, the bishop can take the knight.
All right, true, but I don't have to take the knight. What if I was to do something else? Let me have a go here. What if I was to do queen B3? So now I'm attacking your bishop and I'm still attacking your knight.
Well,
Is this going to be good for you or is this a problem?
or both.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a problem. You're probably going to have to play bishop takes knight, move your knight back to c4, and I might. Um, or even I could do queen e2 maybe because your king's a bit weak. So what was your master plan if I did queen e2? You were going to take on
Oh.
e4 or what were you going to do?
Ah. Um. Bishop take no. The D pawn takes the E pawn.
Okay. I think I'm going to take that with the knight. So now I'm attacking your f6 and I'm also still attacking your knight. So I think you're in a bit of trouble. Right, let's go back. I'll tell you guys about this position. So this was a game in the Dobell Cup played up in Canberra over Easter, and black Zhongwan Zhao is Australia's best player. He's quite a strong grandmaster, and he thought he found a pretty good move in this position. Now I don't think any of you have found it yet, so let me give you a couple of hints. All right, so Callum, where is black applying pressure? Do you think, Callum? Where's he sort of attacking?
Queen side.
Where in particular?
Um. Down near White's. The second rank of White's territory.
Uh,
And down the C file.
he's got the rook on the c file on the same file as the queen. All right, so that looks pretty attacking. Also, his bishop's got pressure on the knight, and the knight's got pressure on the pawn. So black's got more space, and he's attacking on the queen side. So grandmasters are pretty good at tactics most of the time, and Zhao saw a tactic that you guys haven't seen yet. I'll give you one more go. Callum, what do you think? It's it's an undermining theme. What's a tactic black could have a look at based on that pressure down the c file? If anyone wants to help Callum, type in your idea. Maha's found the right idea. Well done. Any clues, Callum?
I think it was Queen C7.
Can you get close to the microphone? I can barely hear you.
I think it was Queen C7.
Queen c7. No. All right. Maha's got the right idea. I'll show you. Zhao played knight takes b2. Callum, what's the idea there? Now that you've seen it,
To to this no
he's undermining
to
that knight on c3,
to
isn't he?
queen takes the knight on
So
b2.
when the queen,
Bishop takes.
yeah, then black will get the bishop back, and the bishop will have a double attack both on the d pawn and on the queen. So does that look like a good move to you? Maha's found it. All right. Zhao thought it was a good move. Now I'll really test you guys. But it turned out he had missed a really good reply from white. So I want you guys to put your thinking cap on. Now, presumably, black's expecting queen takes b2. That's the obvious sort of move. And white thought, hang on, I'm in a bit of trouble here. I could be dropping a pawn, so I've got to put my thinking cap on. And he came up with a really good move. So you guys type in the question what you think might be a really good move for white. Callum's come up with a move, but it's not right. Cadence has come up with the same move, not right. Now remember, if it's a tactical position, don't just look at obvious sort of moves. I take him, he takes me. Use your imagination. Look at strange checks, captures, sacrifices. Come on, Maha, you got knight takes b2. Maybe you can see the counter move for white. Callum and Cadence are going rook b1, but then I just take bishop takes c3, and I'm ahead on material, so that wouldn't be any good. Any other ideas, Callum, or are you stuck with rook b1?
Knight b5.
Could be knight b5, but your queen's going to be dropped to that rook. Got to be careful.
Maybe bishop b5.
Well, that will get a pawn, but black's threat now. Black's not only won the b2 pawn, his threat is bishop takes knight, winning a piece. So we've either got to take the knight so we get his piece, or we've got to do something pretty radical. Maha's trying queen b3. But again, Maha would do bishop takes knight. Looks like I've got to tell you guys, white could have played a really spectacular move here, and he did. Knight takes d5. You didn't look at that one, Callum?
Little bit.
Okay, because let's just go back 1 second. So that knight is like doomed. He's attacked twice. He's pinned to the queen. So we're going to lose that knight anyway, aren't we? So he's like a kamikaze piece. So that gives white the idea, I'll take d5. All right, now, Callum, what's going to happen if black just takes the queen? What's white going to do then?
The knight's going to take on f6.
Yeah, knight f6 check, and knight gets the queen, and then the knight will be attacking black's rook, and black's other rook will still be attacked, so black will be dropping the exchange. So poor old Zhao said, oh, drat, I didn't see that maybe, and he took the knight, and then white took the other knight. So it's still even on material, but black's position is pretty crummy. I'll show you what happened. Bishop c3 looks like a good move because it's got a double attack. White went queen e2, takes on e4. White went queen takes e4, so he's now threatening queen h7 checkmate. So Zhao had to block queen back to f3. So now white's threatening this weak white pawn on f5, and black's king's sort of really open. And white just took there, attacking the queen. So white's a pawn up, black's got a really open king. His bishop's attacked, and I think he resigned here. So it was a bad loss for our best player, all because he thought he saw a tactic, but it didn't quite work out. It was pretty hard, so if it beat our best player, I'm sure I couldn't really expect you guys to see it, but just remember, look at all checks and captures, even if they look a bit daggy, they might turn out to be really good. All right, thanks, Callum. I'll give someone else a go. Now, let me just maneuver back here to another section of the database where I've got the games, and I'll bring up the game we're going to have a look at today. Right. Okay. let's talk to Maha. There, Maha?
Hi.
Hi, how are you
Hi.
today? Been studying chess
I'm
hard
good.
over the Easter break, have you, on the holidays?
Yes.
All right, that's very good. Okay, I've been studying chess pretty hard over the holidays too, because we've had a big tournament, as I said, in Canberra, the Dobell Cup, with lots of Grandmaster
I
players.
played in it.
You played in it, did you? Oh, fantastic. You saw Kasparov
Under
there.
1200.
Okay, did you do any
I
good?
know, I only played in the under 1200, so I went on Thursday and came back on Sunday.
Okay, you saw Kasparov on the Monday or Tuesday or whenever it was?
No,
Monday?
I was back in Melbourne for that.
Oh, you
But I
missed.
did go on ABC News.
All right, that's excellent. All right, now the good thing about these really big tournaments when they're held in Australia is that they have live games. So even if you're not in Canberra, you can follow the live games up on the internet. And in fact, I'm
I
doing.
followed it up. While I was there, I went to the analysis area, and I think I saw the start of the this piano verse player, but in the middle I got an I8, so I had to leave.
Okay, yeah, it's really good to watch all those good players and their good games. So what we're going to do today is one of the best methods of learning is obviously we have to learn off strong players. They know stuff about chess that we don't. And if we haven't got some strong players sitting there going through our games, what can we do? And the answer is what Cecil Purdy did many, many years ago. He was one of Australia's best chess teachers, and he wanted to be our strongest player. But he didn't have any grandmasters to play or to sit next to get coaching from. So what he'd do is he'd get a book of games, so like Capablanca's game, something like that, and he'd cover up the moves with a piece of board, and he'd try to guess Capablanca's next move. And it's an annotated game, so Purdy would guess the move, then pull down the piece of cardboard, reveal what Capablanca played, and if it was a different move, hopefully there'd be an annotation there explaining what Capablanca was thinking, and Purdy would go, "Hey, I didn't think of that." Just like the puzzle we had today. The Grandmaster saw knight takes b2, and Maha was the only one who saw it, but he missed knight takes d5. So we can learn by a method like that, going through books, covering up the moves, and trying to guess it. Or these days, even better, as I was saying, with the online games, we can follow them live and try and guess the moves of the Grandmaster. And when he makes a move that's different to us, hopefully we can have a big think about it and learn from it. In fact, at the moment, there's a tournament up in Sydney, the Sydney International. On my other computer screen, I've got the 4 live games happening at the moment that I'm having a look at. Right. So what we're going to do is I've chosen a game from, I think it was the first round of Sydney. White is Grandmaster Levente Vadsta. I think it's about 2,580 odd. And he's playing Arthur, unpronounceable surname, who's about 2,080 or something. So we're going to try and guess White's moves. Not all of them, because some of them will be obvious. So what I'm going to do is ask you guys to pick a move and write down what move you think the Grandmaster is going to play in the question box, and we'll see if we can get the moves right most of the time. So this is only a short game, but there's a couple of tricky bits. All right, Maha. So let's get started. Goes e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, and then the Grandmaster plays bishop c4, the Gyokko piano opening. A little bit unusual, but I'm sure you guys play this a lot. Bishop c5. All right, now let's start now. So we are white. It's our move. You guys have a quick think. What would you like to play as white? And type your move in the question box. We'll see if we can guess the right move. Then I will ask Maha, who's helping us, and see what her reasoning is. So white to play. You guys must have had a position like this before. What move? Come on, it's not a very hard question. Someone's got to type a move in the question box. They're not helping. Maha, what do you think? Oh, here we go. Maha's going knight c3. Hayden's going knight
Or
c3. Callum's going d4. right. Maha, tell us about knight c3. Why do you want to do that?
Well, you're still in the stages of developing. You still haven't got that much of an attack. You can't just play anything random against some types of players. So you just go on developing. So d3 might have also been good.
Right.
And queen out and getting ready to castle queenside.
All right, now let's stop. So knight c3, it's an okay move. It develops a piece, but it has a problem. What's the problem with it? Think back to my lessons last term where I mentioned this thing quite a bit. What's the problem with knight c3, Maha? It means you're not able to do something in the near future.
Is it c3? You can't do c3.
Well, more to the point, you can't get the two pawns side by side. So you'd like to have like a pawn on d4 to open up lines, get control of the centre. But because you've blocked your c pawn, you can only go to d3, and then you, in a few moves, you'll be sitting there thinking, well, you know, how can I challenge it then? So
then in that case, what about knight takes e5? Knight takes e5, d4. You've got the pawns in the center.
Black had played d6 first. So the move the Grandmaster played was actually c3. That's the proper Gyoko piano move. So he's probably planning d4 to get the two pawns side by side in the center. So you'd have to say maybe his move's a little bit better than you guys playing knight c3 or Callum playing d4 straight away and losing a pawn. All right, so we've learned something. Now let's see what happens. Black goes knight f6. All right, he's attacking our e-pawn. It's our go. What move do you guys think the Grandmaster played here? White to play. Type in the question box what move you'd like to play for white. Sam's going d4. Cadence likes d4 as well. Callum wants knight e5, which seems to lose a piece, Callum. Because when I take you with my knight and you play d4, I can play knight takes bishop. So Callum's definitely wrong. Maha, what do you reckon? What move do you choose?
I agree with d4.
d4, okay. I sort of agree with d4 too. That's the normal move. It's a little bit risky. It's the main Gyoko piano line. It sort of goes takes, bishop check. I think I play knight c3, and then black, if he wants, can play knight takes e4. It's sort of like a bit of a gambit line. But the Grandmaster didn't do that. We're all wrong again. He just did the simple little d3. Okay, so he's playing a bit safer than we are. Maybe he thought his opponent knew all the theory or something, so we're just going to play a quiet line. Okay, black plays d6. All right, so far we haven't gone too well. So put our thingy caps on. White to play here. What move do you think white should play? Enter in the question box. So Sam's liking h3. Callum's liking castles. Cadence likes bishop g5. Maha, what do you think? It's up to you.
Either bishop g5, knight d2, even though that blocks in your bishop, or castles.
Yeah, you've chosen 3 moves. Now, all right, let's do bishop g5. If you do bishop g5, what if I just do h6? What are you going to do then?
Drop my bishop back to e3.
So you've lost a move. You've given me a free h6 move because you could have gone to e3 straight away. Would you agree with
Then
that?
what about castles?
Yeah, so bishop d5 looks a bit
Mhm.
daggy. Castles might be okay. One of the problems with castles might be, I'm just wondering whether he's going to play, no, probably, would he play knight a5 trying to get the bishop? Maybe not. Castles looks like an okay move, but none of us have got the Grandmaster move yet. We're not going too well. I'll show you what he did, Maha, and then you can tell me what you think about it. He did b4. What's going on there? Why does he want to play b4? Now that you've seen it, can you explain that to me?
I think that makes sense. I think he's starting a queenside attack, and wanting to chase out some pieces away.
Okay. I don't think it's really doing a queenside attack so much because it's too early to attack yet. I've only got 2 pieces out and I haven't made my king safe. But what it is doing, it's gaining what for white on the queen
A
side?
tempo?
No, because it's only a pawn move. Pawn's not really helping us develop. Remember last term we talked about material, time, space, king safety. So what's b4 gaining? Sam's got it right. Yes, Mahat, say it. What's it gaining?
Space.
Space. Yes, we're gaining space on the queen side. So he has to drop back. Now also we've stopped his knight later on maybe coming to a5 and trying to get our bishop. So we've gained a nice bit of space. All right, I'll give someone else a go. Thanks, Maha. I'll try Sam. You there, Sam? Hello, Sam. Talk to me.
Hi.
Hi. You going all right? You got space there is what we were gaining?
Yep.
All right, so Black's dropped his bishop back. But so far we haven't guessed many Grandmaster moves, so it's white to play now. So let everyone have a go. So type in white's next move. See if we can guess the Grandmaster move here. Is it castles? Is it bishop g5 now? Is it knight d2? Is it something else? h3? What is it? Let's see what people come up with. Callum wants to play b5. Maha wants to play a4. Cadence, what do you want to do? Cadence is still thinking. All right, Sam, what do you reckon? What would be good for white?
I'm still going with h3
h3. Why do you want to play h3?
because it's basically preventing the bishop to go to our g4 square, which is pinning the knight.
Okay, so the question is, would that be a good pin? So I like I say,
No.
h3 back at you. If you can go bishop h5, can't my knight just defend and then my queen can move away and it's not really a pin anymore? And your bishop sort of then on the side out of play a bit? Yeah. So I don't think h3 is good. Someone's got it right, and that is Maha. Well done, Maha. A4. Maha's cooking with gas. Now that you've seen it, Sam, what's the idea of A4? What's he up to?
Trapping the bishop.
Yeah, he's trying to get in A5, trapping the bishop. Now, let's just go back. Callum wanted to play B5. Callum, you seem to be into one-move attacks. That's not a very good attack because now the knight comes to A5 and snaffles my bishop. Right, so we're more into building up rather than one-move attacks. So A4, and he replies A5 to stop losing the piece. All right, our next move, let's have a go. So Maha got the last one. See if we can all get the Grandmaster move. It's not so hard this time. So white to play. What's going to be the Grandmaster move? Maha likes B5. Cadence likes b5. Black's actually threatening to take on b4, so we have to do something about that. What do you reckon, Sam? What do you like?
B5.
Yeah. Now, why do you like b5? Because that is the Grandmaster move. Why do you like that?
Because right now, the knight doesn't have the a5 square to go,
Yep.
where it can easily get into our queen side.
Yep.
So now it's basically forced back to its to its own base. So it has to go to e7 or b8.
Yeah. So it goes to e7. So we've forced the knight to a worse square, and we have gained what? Gained.
And we still have got gained some space in the queen side.
Yes, we've gained more space on the queen side because we've got that pawn on the 5th rank now. All right, that was good. So we got it. Most of us got the Grandmaster move there. All right, White's go now. What do you reckon, everyone? White to play. We've got 2 pieces developed. He's got 3, but we've got more space. What should White do here? Type in the question box. Callum's going bishop g5. Everyone else is thinking hard. It's not that difficult. It's a pretty routine move, though there's a couple of moves we could choose from maybe. What are you thinking, Sam? Which move appeals to you? Cadence likes bishop g5.
I think right now I'm going for d4.
d4. Okay. And what if I take it and then I'm going to take your e-pawn? Are you dropping a pawn?
I capture back with my c pawn.
So I take you, you take me. Can I just take your pawn and say thank you for the free pawn?
Oh wait.
I think you've given me a pawn. Now the question is, why do you want to play d4? Apart from the fact that you lose a pawn, why? What's your idea there?
To just attack in the center.
All right, stop. Okay, this is the big problem with all juniors. They attack before they're ready. The secret is we want to build up, then we work out what we're going to do. So at the moment, we've only got 2 pieces out. He's got 3, and we haven't even made our king safe. So some of you guys are saying bishop g5. Not so good because he's going to play knight g6. Then he's going to put the question to our bishop, and we'll have to go back again. All right, so not bishop g5. Let's see what the Grandmaster did. The Grandmaster just castled. Right, we don't want to attack before we're ready. So that's a valuable lesson to learn. Black did the same, castles. All right. White's go now. See how we go. White to play. We're getting closer to attacking, but we've still got 2 minor pieces and our queen, which we haven't got off the back rank. So White to play. What would you like to do? Callum's liking knight d2. Maha is thinking hard. Cadence is thinking hard. It's a question of which piece we develop and where. What do you reckon, Sam? At the moment, Callum's two.
Rook to e1.
Rook to e1. Why do you like rook to e1?
Because rook to e1 still my ideas. I just want to push d4. So now I got a defender on the e4 pawn. So I can just push right now.
Okay, reasonable idea. Cadence is going h3. Possible, but not a developing move. So what the Grandmaster did was, I think, well done to Callum, if I can get the arrow working, knight d2. So that knight's defending your e4 pawn like you wanted. but the rook sort of already developed a little bit and the knight was still in the space, so I guess white's preferred to move the knight rather than the rook. All right, let's see what black does. He goes knight g6. Now, what's his idea there, Cadence? Not Cadence, sorry, Sam. What do you reckon he's up to? Why does he play?
I think the knight is thinking to go to f4 since our bishop is actually blocked off.
Yes.
And if white pushes g3, black can go to the h3 square with a check.
Yeah, f4 is a bit of a hole. If we could get our knight in there, that's really menacing towards our king. And if we have to chase it away with g3, then our king is getting a little bit open on the white squares. So that looks like a good move. All right, white to play. What are we going to do here? So we've still got a queen and a bishop to develop, or we might want to try and stop knight f4. So put your thinking caps on. Whites go. What should we do? Pretty even Steven on development because we've both got 3 pieces developed at the moment. Do we develop our bishop, our queen? Do we play g3? Callum's looking at d4, I think. Maha's looking at bishop a3. Cadence is looking at bishop a3. Sam, what are you looking at?
I still haven't found a move yet.
Still haven't found a move. Okay. What moves are you looking at, though, whether you like them or not? d4 or bishop a3, do they appeal or not really?
I'm still thinking of like not really stopping knight to f4 because it's actually not that bad, and I'm thinking about knight to b3, but it does look a bit passive though.
Right, I've got a question. Why would your knight want to go to b3? Is that a good square for the knight? Oops, hang on.
Maybe not.
The wrong colours. The colours. Yeah, we're trying to place our pieces on good squares. I reckon b3. I mean, it's not going anywhere from there, so it's better off on d2. All right. Let's have a look at what the Grandmaster did because no one got it. Queen b3. So let's go back. So he's trying to complete his development. So he should either move the bishop or the queen probably. I think with the bishop, we're not too sure where we want it yet. It might need to stay on c1 to take the knight if the knight comes to f4. But the queen, b3, looks pretty obvious square because now we've got the queen and the bishop lined up. So we've got sort of a bit of pressure against f7. So that looks like an okay spot. All right, so you can see how he's building up. He hasn't done anything too drastic yet. He's just getting all his pieces out, getting ready. Let's see what black does. Queen e7. That looks like an okay spot. So there's no threats and stuff. All right, white to play. See if we can get the Grandmaster move this time. We've only got one more piece we need to develop, or maybe we can start doing something. What do you guys think? Should play some background thinking music. We're all thinking very hard. What ideas are you looking at, Sam?
I'm more thinking of developing rather than attacking since black have like 3 pieces defending it while white only have 2 is actually really doing putting pressure to the black.
Okay, Maha is suggesting knight g5. What do you think of that?
Knight g5 actually isn't doing very much because, you know, the h7 square is actually being protected by the knight.
Well, I think she's trying
But
to.
it may do something, but trade 2 minor pieces for a rook and a pawn. I don't think so.
No, that'd be bad. I think Black would just say h6 go away, and Maha's wasted a move. So
Yeah.
Maha, no, bad luck. Now Callum's going bishop a3 again. You like that one?
Bishop a3. Yep, maybe, but Black can just play c5. And now the whole diagonal is blocked. They have nowhere to get into it.
Not en passant, and then the bishop would be attacked. But it's not really threatening anything at the moment. The question is it the best square for the bishop? Right? Do you like any of them? Cadence likes bishop a3 as well, or you got your own idea?
I think bishop to b2 might be slightly better.
All right. Now, bad news. None of us got it right. The Grandmaster plays an interesting move here. I'm not sure it's the right move, but it's interesting. He plays, if I can get my arrows working, stop it, d4. So now he's got the 2 pawns side by side in the centre. He's rolling forwards, but there's a bit of a problem. A bit of a problem. What do you think that problem might be, Sam? Could be
I need some thinking time.
thinking time. Think.
Yep.
So what does the pawn not do on d4 that it does on d3? How's it change the position? What was the pawn doing on d3? Is it protecting something?
It's actually protecting the bishop
And
the e pawn.
correct. So because we've moved it forward, the e pawn is not protected, except by the knight. But it's attacked by the knight. So, what do you think? There might be an idea here for Black. Maybe White's made a blunder. Can you see what I'm getting at? If you were Black, what would you do? Or certainly have a good look at. Anyone help him? Type in the question box. What should Black do? Maybe White's made a boo-boo. I think I've got you all baffled. So what's the obvious reply for... Callum's got it. Callum's saying... Oh, no, he's put it back to front. E5 takes D4. Are you looking at that one, Sam? Is that a worry for you or not?
No.
Why not?
Oh, yeah. Looks like it is.
Why?
Now that e pawn is being attacked twice right now.
Yes.
So if White has to capture back, the e pawn will just drop.
Yep. So I'm a bit worried about my e pawn, and in fact, Black does take. So now we'll take him back with the pawn. So now we've got a beautiful centre, the 2 pawns side by side, controlling all that space and all those centre squares. So let's put our thinking cap on for Black for the moment. So does Black leave those pawns there and make some other move? Or does he take a risk, and should he take that pawn on e4? What would you guys do? Would you take on e4, try and win a pawn? Or would you play safe and just make a developing move? Maybe bishop e6 or something. Because poor old Black, he's only a 2,000 player and he's playing a 2,600 nearly Grandmaster. So he must be thinking, has the Grandmaster really blundered a pawn here? Surely not. Maybe it's a trap. What do you think, Sam? Are you going to be brave and take, or you think it could be a trap and we better leave it?
If I actually am black, I will probably play rook to e8.
Rook to e8. Okay. So if you do rook to e8, maybe he just does rook e1. So now, who do you reckon's better?
Well, black's got the semi-e file, but white have a more spatial advantage and have more space, so black's pieces are basically just cramped in.
Yeah, white's got
They
lots
can't
of
really go
I reckon
anywhere that's really good.
I'd rather be white. All right. Cadence is being brave and playing knight takes e4, though Callum's chickened out and he wants to leave it. So why don't you want to take it? You've rejected taking, trying to win the pawn. What's wrong with taking?
Well, from taking, taking white can play rook to e1 and just pin the knight down.
And that's good for white or good for black?
It's actually really good for white.
Okay. All right.
Because now white had got two attackers on the e4, while black has only got his queen there.
Okay. All right. I'll move on and give someone else a go. So thanks, Sam. I'll try Cadence. You there, Cadence?
Yeah.
So do you reckon taking on e4 is good move winning a pawn, or it's a bit risky?
I think it's winning a pawn.
Okay. Looks to me like it's winning a pawn maybe, but white's a strong grandmaster, so let's see. So it's white's go. Let's see if we can guess the grandmaster move for white here. He's just lost a pawn, so he's got to do something about that. White to play. What move would you guys play? Sam wants to play rook e1. As he said before, he thinks that's a good move. Callum and Maha, what do you guys want to do? They're thinking hard. What are you thinking about, Cadence? What are you liking?
I like rook e1.
Okay. All right. Well, rook e1 was in fact the move he played. Maha's saying knight takes e4. So let's have a look at Maha's move. So if instead of rook e1, we go knight takes e4, he'd take. Now, everyone put your thinking caps on, because this is a bit tricky. Has black just won a pawn, or does white have a really good move here? So I'll be impressed if anyone finds a really good move for white. White to play here. This didn't happen, but perhaps could have happened. What's a good move for white here? Callum wants to play knight g5. A double attack on the queen and f7. Can you see anything good, Cadence? What are you looking at?
I'm looking at bishop d3.
Bishop d3. Well, attacks the queen, but the queen just moves away, so we'll just be a pawn down. All right. Now, all right, I don't think you guys are going to get it because it's pretty tricky. One of the things I say is when we think there's a tactic on, we look at all checks and captures. And in this position, white could actually have played bishop takes f7 check. Now, Cadence, what's happening? If black just takes that, is that good for black, or what can white do now? Can you see a pattern?
It's good for black.
You sure? Have you looked at all checks and captures for white?
Right. It's actually good for white.
Why? What's white's move?
Knight to g5.
Knight to g5. I move my queen back. In fact, the good move, I don't know whether any of you saw it, His queen takes rook check. Remember I said look at all checks and captures? King takes, knight check, and we're going to end up the exchange ahead for a pawn or so, I think. So that would have been really tricky. Maybe White should have done it, but instead he did rook e1, which was Sam's move. Now, is that winning a piece, Cadence, or does Black have a sneaky way of getting out of it? Because we can't protect it with pawn to f5 because that pawn's pinned. And if we protect it with pawn to d5, White can just take it. So how can we get out of losing a piece? Anyone want to help Cadence?
D5?
Yeah, well, you got an idea? Have we won a piece?
Knight takes D2.
Yes, correct. So Black has counterattack on d2. And now if we take his queen, he takes our queen. And we're going to have two rooks attacked. So we really have to take the knight. And Black just plays queen f6. So poor old White, he's a pawn down. I'm not sure he's got too much for it. But he's a strong grandmaster. He must have something happening. See if we can get his next grandmaster move. So White to play. Is he just a pawn down for nothing, or has he got a good move here? What can he do? Type in the question box what move you think you'd play for White. We probably have to do something fairly drastic, because if Black completes his development, like say plays bishop g4 or something, he's just going to be a pawn ahead. Everyone's thinking hard. Any idea, Cadence, what you might do?
There's a bishop G5.
And why do you choose bishop g5? What's your idea?
Because it's putting pressure on the queen.
Yep. Yeah, because the queen hasn't got too many squares to go to, has it? It's a bit cramped. Yes, so well done. That was the Grandmaster move. No one else got it, so well done to Cadence. All right, so now I've got to play Queen F5. Now I'm in a bit of a pickle. What can I do? Is there anything I can threaten, or what's my idea? I don't think anyone will get White's move, but put your thinking cap on. What would you do if you were the Grandmaster playing White here? White to play. What can we do? This is pretty hard, so we might need a lot of thinking music to work out a good answer. Callum wants to play rook e8, and I play rook takes rook check. Callum, why are you giving me a free rook? Well, it's not check. Rook takes rook, rather. You're just giving me a free rook. Callum's now looking at bishop takes f7. You're giving me a free bishop for a pawn. I think I've got everyone baffled. Any Cadence? Any ideas?
Bishop E7.
Bishop e7. So that would attack the rook. Bishop e7. But if he just plays rook e8, so he's now got a double attack on the bishop, have we got a good follow-up? Or is our bishop just going to have to retreat back again?
Bishop takes D6.
You're giving up your bishop for a pawn, or you're sacrificing to for a back rank checkmate? This is a bit sneaky. Okay, what can I do here? rook takes, bishop takes. I think I play rook takes rook, you take me back, and I'm going to take your bishop, because when you do back rank checkmate, I can drop the knight back. So that was a sneaky idea, but not right. I don't think anyone's going to get it, so I'll show you. White played h4, which is a funny move. Any idea what he's up to there? What do you think he's doing there, Cadence? Does he want to keep pushing, or what's he up to?
It looks like that he's going to keep pushing and trying to attack the king.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He might want to keep pushing. Really, the knight can just run away to h8. It's a silly square, but it's pretty safe. Or maybe he wants to protect the bishop and control that square. It had me a bit puzzled. I thought, what a strange move. Black now plays a funny move himself. He plays queen g4. What do you think of that move? Is that a good move? First impression. Good move? Bad move?
I don't really think it's a good move because it's like trapped inside the king's space.
It looks like a funny square for the queen. Now maybe he's threatening to take the pawn. Maybe that's his idea. All right, so what should we do? White to play. Game's nearly over. What move do you reckon White should do here? See if we can get the Grandmaster move for the last couple of moves. So type in the question box what you guys would do. Black's possibly threatening our d4 pawn. Thinking. What are you thinking about, Cadence? Got any ideas? Sam wants to play rook e8. Looks like an interesting idea. Rook e8. I think I can just play bishop e6 and ignore you, maybe. Or I could take and just play king f8 and get a bishop for a pawn, maybe. All right, not rook e8. Cadence, what do you reckon? Got any moves you're looking at?
I think it's rook d1.
Correct. Our rook's not doing anything on a1, so let's just put on d1. We're a pawn down, but we've got more space and we've got more development, so that's okay. All right. Black's go now. We're not threatening anything, so black just says, all right, bishop d7. I'm going to complete my development. All right, white to play. See if we can get the Grandmaster move. We didn't get it last time, though I guess Cadence sort of got it after a little while. What would you guys do for white here? We're still a pawn down. It looks like black's catching up in development. Maybe just going to play rook e8, swap off and say, hey, I'm a pawn up. Or maybe he's going to play h6 and chase our bishop away. White to play. What can he do? What candidate moves you're looking at, Cadence? Any moves appealing?
Bishop takes f7.
Right, but if rook takes bishop, have we got a good follow-up? What could you do?
We could go rook to e7.
but the knight's on it. Knight would take the rook.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, so that's not working. Come on, guys. White has a winning move here. I'll give you a hint. White makes one move and black resigns. What is that move? See who can be the first to get it. Because the thing about grandmasters is they understand what's happening in the position, and perhaps their opponents don't always get the right idea. And black's missed something here. He just played the routine bishop d7 to develop his piece. So Callum's trying bishop f7, h5, rook e7. They're all wrong, Callum. You're trying every move on the board, and none of them is the winning move. Black has a problem here that he doesn't realise. It's not bishop takes f7. It's not an obvious attack like that. We briefly mentioned it a couple of moves back, that black had a little bit of a problem. Cadence, have I given you enough hints?
Bishop h6.
I just take it. Thank you for the free bishop. Nope. I think I've got you all baffled. I'll give you another 20 seconds. See if anyone can get it at all. What is black's problem? It looks like all the pieces are nicely protected. His king's pretty safe because it's only being attacked by a bishop and a queen, and the rook and the king cover that f7 pawn, and black's the pawn up. So everything's fine for black except for one little problem. Callum's trying bishop e7. Nope. Nope, not bishop e7. Caden's trying h5. All right, looks like you guys have to give up.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you what the problem is. The problem is black's queen is short of squares to go to. So our winning move is knight h2, attacking the queen. Now, Cadence, where can you put the queen? You tell me. Where do you want to go?
f5.
You go to f5. What are you going to do if I play g4? Your queen's
The
trapped.
queen can't go anywhere.
Okay, is there anywhere else you can go? What if you went to h5? Would that be safe?
Sort of.
I can then play bishop e2, and I've still got the queen.
Oh.
So what a great idea. It's very hard to find backwards moves. But you see, in this position, the Grandmaster realised that black's problem was not his king safety or f7, it was that the queen didn't have enough spare moves to retreat to. And so knight h2, end of game, black resigns. Okay, I hope that was an interesting lesson for you guys. We did moderately, I think. Maybe we got about a third of the Grandmaster moves. But if you look back, you can see that they were pretty good on the tactics, and they didn't rush out like Callum and go for the one-move threats or attack with d4 before they're ready. White built up his pieces and made his king safe, and then he started to do stuff. So that's a valuable lesson. Now, this Sydney International thing, this is still going on, I think, till Sunday maybe. So if you want to follow the live games of that, just look up Sydney International Chess, and you'll find the live games for you to follow each night, and you can do a similar thing, see if you can guess the Grandmaster moves. All right, so thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that lesson, and I'll see you all next week for another lesson. So thank you and good night.